welcome to the Marley Bird YouTube channel. I am joined today by my very good friend Tamara Kelly from the Moogly YouTube channel.
Hello, Tamara.
I love this. I love being able to collaborate with you on things. Like it just, like all of the worlds collide whenever I get to collaborate with my friends. I love it so much.
It's so fun. I always love chatting with you. I mean, you know, people probably think we just started chatting. We've been like chatting to each other for like 20 minutes before we even went live. We talked like, oh wait, we should probably like talk to other people now too.
I love it when we don't talk and then we'll randomly get a text either from you're texting me or I'm hey, we should talk soon, because like it just feels like it's been so long. I just love talking to you, and it's just fun. I love also, not only because you're my friend, but because we're both in the industry and we're able to, you know, present ourselves as collaborators. And like I get so jealous of sometimes the makeup industry, because I'll see a lot of them doing things like that and I'm like, I want my friend to come over, you know, like I want that. But this is as close as we can get right now, so that works. All right, so if you guys have not already, make sure you have hit subscribe to the Marley Bird YouTube channel. And if not, make sure you have also subscribed to Moogly's YouTube channel. Both of us are here to teach you how to become better crocheters. And I don't know if you have knitting on yours, but I do have knitting on mine.
Not yet. I would like to get some knitting out there. I've got a little bit. I shouldn't say none, but I have a little bit. But it's one of those things, you know, one of those many things on the long to-do list.
For real.
Like to have on there, yes.
For real. Well, you are a really good resource for many things crochet, so it is a handy place to be. And there are so many people here in the chat room saying hello to both of us. We have Chris Lopez.
Yay, hi, Chris.
Love Chris Lopez. We have Mary and Spunky Drew. I love that. Spunky Drew. Amagurumi Noor in Arabic. She sends lots of emojis. So many people saying hello and that they're happy to be here. So that's always exciting. Do you have it up on your screen too?
I do. I just got it up. That's why I was just mute real quick. Mute us.
Awesome. Yeah. So I'm going to let you chat for a second while I do some editing and add a link to what we're going to be looking at today. Okay. And before I do that, all right, so you talk away. I'm going to make it so that only you're on screen, so they don't have to watch me doing this.
Well, I don't know. I'll tell you what, if you guys haven't noticed it yet, Marley is wearing the cutest cowl knit. And I saw on Instagram today, there is now a matching hat. I just saw it like 5 minutes before we started chatting. Her Instagram popped up. I'm like, there's Marley. That's what she's doing right now.
Well, now I got to show you. So here's the matching hat.
So cute.
Isn't it adorable? And can I just tell you, this was not planned. Like, this is such a happy accident. There are 9 repeats. And so when I did the crown, the way it all went down by 3s, like it came out like a perfect. And I was like, this is fantastic. So
I love that.
I am so happy. Like I wore this today when I went out this morning and I was like, I am so matchy. All right, now I really have to write this. Okay.
Awesome. Oh gosh. Hi everybody. Hi. Just say hi into people and looking at our comments. Sarah, I'm not sure why you can't hear us. If everybody else can hear, it's okay. So, you know, I don't know, turn it up. We'll try and talk louder. But anyway, I talked a little bit about what Marley had coming out today. I had a new pattern come out today too. So I'll go ahead and show it off if I may. This is the 3-hour throw. I just made this like last weekend. It took less than 3 hours, you guys. If I had known it was going to be so quick when I started, I would have actually set a stopwatch or a timer so I'd know how long it took. But I know for a fact it was under 3 hours because I was binge watching some shows. And I know how many shows it took. So here is the 3-hour throw. It's big. It's a real big one. Here we go. This is hand crocheted, no hook necessary. It uses Bernat Blanket Extra, which you can get at Joann's or on the Yarn Inspiration site. And literally you just sit there and hand crochet it while you're watching TV, binge watching. I just finished The Witcher. It was awesome. Not necessarily for kids, but if you're an adult, it's a great show. So anyway, I was watching that and man, I got this thing done literally in an evening. So it was fun. So if you want to check that out, that is up free on mooglyblog.com today.
Perfect. I just put a link to that in the video description too.
Great.
See how fast I am with that?
Thank you.
I know. I just put a link to yours. I put a link to my hat, and then I put a link to the page we're going to talk about today on Yarn Inspiration. So it's all right there I'll add all extra stuff later on. But for the meantime, you guys can hopefully find all the information you need as far as following along with us today. And it's all good to go. I'll have to make a thumbnail later too. Maybe we need to have some sort of a picture like with our hands together, like, you know, I don't know, something to where it's fun, where it's like Marley and Moogly, and we can, hey, oh, that's a good idea. Oh, that's such a good idea. I love this so much. All right. So today, you guys, we thought we would jump on here and talk a little bit about this post that recently went up with yarnspirations.com. As you know, Tamara and I worked hand in hand quite a bit with Red Heart over the last couple years. And this is new to us. So this they came to us and Christy Glass and Mikey from the Crochet Crowd. And they were asking us, you know, what are some of your top 20 patterns? And so we went through the website and looked at different things. And then they did this big post, kind of like, here's what our influencers have chosen. And I was like, this is really cool and sort of fun. And something that I thought, you know, rather than me just getting on here and talking at all of you with my opinion, I was like, hey, T, you want to come and join me? And so she was like, okay.
Only because that meant I had to like put on clothes and makeup.
Dude, the struggle is real. It's so real. Just today, as I was getting ready, so I have this really awesome OttLight. Did you see my OttLight thing where it's the mirror and it has the attachments? You can put your phone there. You could like watch YouTube videos for makeup and stuff, or it doesn't have to be makeup. It could be Netflix. But anyways, I'm like doing my makeup and I'm like filming little mini videos and sending them to like my admin team. I'm like, okay, so here we're at this part. You know, they're like, dude, really, I don't care. Stop. I'm like, anyways, okay. So we're here today to talk a little bit about this wonderful post. And as I mentioned, I've put a link to the post we're going to be talking to in the video description box. So feel free to link on that and kind of do a split screen with us and follow along with us if you want. We do have the chat open. We have moderators in there. Tamara and I will both be peeking over there periodically as well to make sure we're trying to get some of the questions answered as we go along. But we're just going to take a look at this, take a look at both of our list, take a look at Christy's, take a look at Mikey's, and just talk about it and see what your thoughts are, and you can hear what our thoughts are, and we'll go from there. Sound fun, everybody? I hope so. Make sure you give a thumbs up, smash that like button, everybody. All right, so without further ado, I will do a share screen here, as long as I can do this correctly, and share and share and share. All right, so it looks like I'm sharing the screen. Here we are. So this, you guys, this is the page that you go to when you hit this link. So that is the link I put in the video description box. You're welcome to go and click on that whenever you want. And it's must make projects. This is exciting to me. I never even thought about doing anything like this before. Had you done something like this?
Actually, I wrote a little blog post for the Yarn Inspirations blog about my top picks for 2020, back in 2019. So last decade. Well, I have to see if they come true. So that's where they ended up actually pulling some of my picks from. Sorry, I need to remember to look over here and not at Marley over here in the corner.
I know, right? I'm doing the same thing. I'm like, okay, here we are.
Yeah, so I ended up actually writing a blog post all about it, which you can get to from the front page. The very homepage of Yarn Inspirations. That's the word I'm looking for, the homepage. It's got a little box there. So I've talked a little bit more about what inspired my own picks. But I know as a designer, I'm definitely always trying to think about, what's trending and what's going to be the hot projects for the next month, the next year, you never know too. I think what's really funny and interesting about trying to pick the trends is there's always a surprise every year. Like, I remember the Ponytail Hat came out. I was like, man, I made one of those for my daughter when she was like 12 years and years ago. It was one of my first knitting projects, actually, when I was teaching myself to knit. And then boom, they exploded all over the place. And you just never know when something like that's going to hit, It's
absolutely.
always
Absolutely.
A complete surprise.
I always accidentally did ponytail hats because I would run out of yarn and I'm like, this is good. You can just pop your ponytail out, I really think that's how that initially happened. I think the person ran out of yarn and that's what happened.
Yep.
But anyways.
For sale in my grocery store. It's straight up at the end of my local Hy-Vee, go to the end of the ice cream aisle. They have a whole end cap of ponytail hats. I was like, you got to be kidding me. Here we are. Right. You know, when it's like retail at an end cap at a grocery store, it has fully saturated.
Fully saturated. That's perfect. So for me, as I'm looking through this list, you can see here, first off, everybody, right underneath where it says must make projects, you'll see the names of different influencers that work with Yarnspiration. So we have Christy Glass, Marley Bird, Moogly, and the Crochet Crowd. And then there's a view all option. But you can see specifically what we all kind of chose individually. And so I'm just going to click on mine real quick. And I mean, I don't know if I would necessarily classify all these as must make, but it's like, you know what, if you want to venture into like socks, this is a really good sock pattern. Give it a try. I love the idea of the slouchy sweater there. Like I was like, oh, that's cute. One thing I didn't add in there that I really wish I would have were more yoke pieces, like yoke sweaters. I feel like those are just so big right now.
Yeah.
This was actually a discussion I had recently with Yarnspirations that I wanted to do some videos for yoke sweaters, but it's going to be more than just a one video like thing. Like it has to be like a series, you know?
Yeah.
And so I like the idea of yoke sweater. So I wish I had added that in a little bit more. But I don't know. I mean, these are just some basic patterns I thought were fun. Oh, did that pop up? Why? This always pops up.
Click on my screen. I'm forgetting it's your screen.
No, you know what's the weirdest thing? So this knit visualizer, I swear, every time I put my cursor down at the bottom of the screen, this always pops up. And so then I have to hit agree, and then it'll pop up like I want to use it. I'm like, no, I don't want to use it right now. Like it always happens, like constantly. So I don't know if it's me or if it's a bug, but it's neither here nor there. But anyways, this thing here, it totally caught my eye. This big waves throw, and all of these, by the way, all of these are free patterns as we're going through them. I just love the pictures, the colors. Let me see if I can do a quick view. There we go. That's better. The colors. Oh my gosh.
And you know what? I would never have thought to put that yellow in there.
I was going to say the same thing.
But it works.
Yeah, they call it the new gold. I think it's like perfect. It's the perfect addition. Like that picture doesn't show it as well. I love this.
It really
I think it's so great. And it's a really great way for knitters. Like the feather and fan sort of wave thing, it's always a traditional knit sort of style. Same thing with crochet, with ripples and chevrons. And so I think with this, because it's also big yarn, so it's instant gratification. You get to work with some simple shaping to get this really great look of waves. So I thought that was a really awesome piece to work with there. I also, I love corner to corner. Oh my gosh. I love
that blanket.
When this blanket came out, I was like, ooh, I want to make that. And I don't make things anymore that aren't mine, right? I don't have time for that. But this was really close to going on my hook because wow, it's so cool.
It's gorgeous. It was definitely one of those where I was like, oh, why didn't I make that?
Right? It's so pretty.
Yeah.
It's so absolutely pretty. And it uses softy chunky, again, bigger yarn. I love that we're starting to use some bigger yarns for that instant gratification part, you know, because we are all so scrunched for time. And did you guys know this? I don't know if everybody is fully aware of this, but so when you click on the image or you click on the pattern or whatever it may be, you can come over here. It says download the pattern. So that's where it would literally take you to the PDF page to download the pattern. But down here, you can actually order the yarn directly from Yarnspirations. So you can decide if there were other sizes, you could decide what size it is. So if it was a sweater, you could decide what size you wanted to make. And then it automatically fills in the quantities of the yarn you need. You don't have to choose the same colors that were in the actual item, but it does list those initially. But you can go in and you can change the color. So say instead of midnight white, you wanted to do that color, black tweed, because you're crazy. So you wanted to do black tweed. You could change that and then it'll send you 4 black tweed instead of the white. And so as you go through, it even has this option of getting your crochet hook here also. But you can order directly from the website. So if you're scrambled for time, you can't make it to Joann's or Michael's or Hobby Lobby or wherever it is they sell this yarn, you can always order online. And more often than not, Yarnspirations will have a deal on free shipping for X number of dollars spent or discounted shipping or who knows what it may be. But you can order your yarn directly from the website, from the factory, and get the colors you want. So if you didn't know that before, it's very handy to do that. And it's very easy to do, especially late at night when you're just kind of scrolling through the patterns. You're like, oh, I'll take that. Makes it very easy to kit up.
Yes. I love that you chose the Bernat Graphic Stripes poof. That is one I've actually made.
Have you really?
Yes, I didn't design it or anything like that. I honestly, I don't know who designed it. It was probably the Yarn Inspirations design team. But years and years ago, yeah, I went ahead and I made it up and I wrote a blog post about it. I've got a picture of my dog sitting right on top. It was super fun. It's a great pattern.
That's cool. I
So
I just
basically,
love
it's
the
something to kit.
colors.
So yeah, I've gotten one of those kits and it was delightful.
That's awesome. And it's not that expensive. $38 for a poof. Come on.
No, no. The
That's
hard part
awesome.
is finding what to stuff it with.
Yeah. Old clothes.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Shove
Extra
all those
yarn.
t-shirts and
Yep.
sweatshirts and
Yep.
all the soft stuff. Coats that don't fit anymore, pop them right
Right.
on in there.
Exactly. All your out of season clothes, just stuff in there and
Yes.
change them out.
Storage. All your
Yeah.
yarn.
Absolutely.
Let's look at some of yours. I want to see some of what you chose. So here we are. Let's go to Moogly. Moogly must make projects, and I'll let you talk about them.
Well, it's funny you mentioned the yoke sweaters. That was something I was looking for, but when I put together my list, I put it together a while ago. And then Your Inspirations came out with a bunch of those yoke sweaters. And I was like, oh, those would have been on my list. So you can see some of those, I think, on Christie's list.
Okay.
But they have now those gorgeous top-down sweaters. So I was trying to find some top-down stuff, and I did find a couple. But what really stuck out to me, like that one right there, I tried to find like a knit and a crochet for each of the trends I was kind of forecasting.
Okay.
Skinny scarves definitely are a trend I see coming back, even though I just made a super scarf myself and I love it. I think the skinny scarves are going to kind of start working their way back in. I wrote this list, and then can I just point out, because I'm just that little bit psychic, got my new copy of Crochet Magazine.
Okay, so hold on. I'm going to stop sharing screen so people can see you better.
Okay.
Maybe.
Or I can just hold it up real close.
Okay.
Oh, and it's backwards anyway. So I'll tell you what it says.
Okay.
Complete your outfit with fringed skinny scarves.
Oh my gosh.
Right there on the Spring Crochet Magazine. So I think I was onto something with that one.
Yeah, absolutely.
But,
absolutely.
I think the thing about all of these projects I picked are there things you can make for you. And right now, especially January, after we've finished making things for everybody else, it is so great to step back and have some of that me time, make it for me. What do you want to make for you now?
Right.
You're done. You've got another 11 months. We won't talk about the fact that you should probably start now. Theoretically, you've got plenty of time, and it's time to sit back and make some things that you really want to make for yourself.
Right. Absolutely. I think that's another blog thing that they've done recently is talking about the make it for you time frame right now as well. I know I have some things on my list for that.
Yes.
So okay, so I'm gonna scroll some more. I love that you picked Tunisian.
Yeah, I feel like Tunisian is really having a moment. I think it's trying. I think it's lurking in the background. It's coming back a little bit. I think I'm seeing it pop up here and there over the past year, a little bit, kind of like Punch Needle. I've been seeing things pop up, and yeah, I feel like there's some Tunisian stuff to be explored for sure.
That's cool. So I'm noticing something here on Zoom. It says I can give mouse and keyboard control to Moogly. Do you want to try that so you can scroll yourself?
Sure. Okay.
Okay. So let me close
trying
this.
To anyway,
because you're trying to. Okay. So hold on. I'm clicking it. All right. So I think.
Okay. So I'm gonna have to lean in because there's tiny print on my screen.
Oh, it says it won't allow me unless I give you access to the computer. I wonder if I can.
That's all right. You can scroll for me.
Hold on, let me try. Because why not? This is the year for trying. So let's try this.
It is. Actually, that's a word I've been trying to use more lately is the word try. I feel like, you don't have to succeed all the time, but you can try.
Yeah. All right.
Try that new technique. Try that new project. Try that pattern that you think is too hard. Try it.
Right.
Surprise yourself, and by the time you get through, you'll probably will have learned something, even if you didn't end up making that project.
All right, try it now.
Ooh, okay. Click to start the mouse. Okay.
Oh, we just learned a new skill.
Look at us go.
This is awesome.
All right. Well then, that's my picks. No. So anyway, my picks were based on, I kind of explain up here, and I wrote, oops, gosh darn it, that little pop-up always happens. There we are. I do have a blog post linked right here, kind of highlighting it there, where I talk about why I picked some of these things. But I really love this buffalo plaid blanket right here. Let's go ahead. Oh, my tailwind's trying to pin it instead of give us the quick view. There we go. Um, if you look, it's not a terribly complicated pattern. It looks like, you know, pretty much granny squares, solid
Yeah.
granny squares put together, but it's just so clever and so great looking and clean. And it has that whole farmhouse vibe that I think
Mhm.
is still really, really trending
Yeah.
in home decor right now. It's a great look. And this is just, it's just so, so classic and modern all at the same time. I think gray continues to trend. We were talking about the yellow stripe, yellow fringe, all going to be really big, I think, in 2020. And then of course headbands, man. Headbands are just also
Headbands are everywhere.
everywhere.
I just did that, the headband you had on the other screen, the twist headband. I did a video for that one recently. And that was,
Okay.
I mean, it was an easy, fun, easy knit.
Yeah. And I love that you picked your long slouchy tunics. That's kind of where I was trying to go here. I found this one, knit one, and this crocheted one. I think, yeah, long tunics. I loved your picks though. I liked your picks maybe better than mine.
Oh yeah, I liked yours. I thought yours were fun. And they're different. I think that's the cool part, is that by doing this and showing all the different influencers, we're getting such a different take on, you know, what's out there. And like you said, I mean, I wish there were a couple more things I could have given them like 50 different items, because there's like a lot that I really like. I feel like the design team at Yarn Inspirations really has their finger on the pulse of things, which is good. You know, it's good for us too. You know, we get to stay on top of it all. I think they do a really, really good job. It's really awesome.
I agree.
Cool.
So,
do you want to hit
tap
Christie's?
over?
Let's look at Christie's.
Okay. I was gonna say, who wants to drive? There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, there it is. There's that knit.
So that one, that Nomad one, the Nomad Fair Isle knit, that's the one. When we were talking yesterday, they were like, let's do that one. And I'm like, okay, I might get kicked back because of the turtleneck act, because some people just don't like, it's not really a turtleneck. It's like a sort of a cowl turtleneck piece.
It looks like it's got some drape when you wear it.
Yeah, it does. And so, and it's so pretty, and it comes from size extra small to 5X. So I asked my knit along group, I'm like, would you guys, if I did like I don't want to say inspirational, impromptu knit along, would you guys want to do this? And a lot of people were like, absolutely. Like, they've been wanting to try Fair Isle. They've been wanting to do some yoke top down sweaters. So this was number one on our list. The other one is, it's a cardigan one that is over there, and it's actually steeked. And I was like, ooh, that would be so fun to do as a knit along also. Oh my God. But I will let everybody know this one here, I am doing videos for this one. There'll be a total of 3 videos, and I think we are going to do an impromptu knit along for it, so you can join in. But I love this. Like, gorgeous. I'm like, okay, you know, we've all discussed this. I am not a small person. I'm like a size 2X, 3X. So if I'm going to make this, I'm going to make it for me. So I'm like, I don't want to make this for somebody else. Right. So I'm going to be knitting along too, which will be crazy because it's a lot of knitting, but I love this. I love this.
But no joke, that's an amazing amount. Usually you see the yoke sweaters and you think of the color all being at the top. This really carries it quite a ways down right into the sleeves. So I think that'll be a lot of color work.
One thing I liked about that is I thought that was very flattering, because when yoke sweaters end up here, like right at like the shoulder, you know, when it's a pullover sort of, because this is sort of swancho-ish, in my opinion. You know, it's not as low as a swancho, but it's still, it has all that color work going down. I feel like that's more flattering. When it stops here, I look like I have football shoulders. So that was the part that I liked about this the most, is that it came down further, and I thought that was much more flattering. So yeah, I really like this. Now I just have to decide what colors I want to do. I'm really thinking the lagoon color instead of the black. So I like the birch, but instead of the onyx, I was going to do the lagoon. Yeah, it's like that greenish teal color. Not that one.
That one?
No, nope. Down to the left.
I was waiting for it to little pop up and tell me.
Yeah, to the left.
Seeing it right here.
That one. Yeah.
Okay.
That's
there it goes, lagoon. Yep.
I was like, ooh, that would be very pretty.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. But yeah, I'm so with you. Like, I think Christy Glass is right on the money with that one, because I think it's just beautiful and a lot of people like it. And then of course the llama. I think the llama is going to be popular forever. And I love that Michael did videos for it, because I did not want to do videos for it. And I'm just going to be completely honest there, because like last year, a year before last, I was asked if I wanted to do videos for it. And I was like, I know they'll be popular. I don't want to do a video for that. So I didn't.
I see them pop up online all over the place, from, you know, Ravelry to Facebook to Reddit even. I've
Yeah.
seen people making those llamas, and people are usually like, yeah, it's gorgeous, and they don't regret making it, but you make one.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just like, I just have no desire
Project.
to make that.
Yeah.
My favorite part about Christie's options here, she does have a lot of sweaters and cozy sort of cushy stuff. Totally right up my alley. Like I could totally swap out my picks for Christie's.
Right? Look at
Yeah,
that.
that's the one. That's the
Yeah.
one. So I was like, ooh, or we could make this one with this, because
Yeah.
it's top down. So you do all the color work and then we steek it. So if you don't know what steeking is, you guys, you literally cut your fabric when it's all done, and then you add in all that extra trim. It's so fun to do. Like, it's so fun, but it's nerve wracking. You're like, I just put hours and hours and hours into this sweater, and now I'm going to take scissors to it. But that's the cool part about working with wool and being able to steek it. Like, it's so cool. It's so cool.
I've seen videos where people have steeked stuff, and it's just, you just kind of sit on the edge of your seat and hold your breath the whole time, you know, and it's an amazing technique.
It's so fun. I was making the first sweater I ever steeked. It was a sweater I made for a book called Knitting Plus. And I was using yak and cormo yarn. And so the entire sweater all together, because it was a plus size sweater, it was worth more than $500 just in yarn. Okay. And that was the first thing I ever steeked in my life. I had never steeked anything. And I was like, yep, let's do this. I was like, I can't believe I'm cutting. I was like, I really hope this works. You know, like, if it doesn't work, what?
Do you still have the sweater?
Yes, I do. It's beautiful. It's out in the garage right now. I'd have to find it, but it's so pretty. But yeah, steeking is so much fun. Somebody in the chat is asking if I will be doing the sweater after the game day. Actually, I'm looking at trying to do the sweater sometime within this month. So we'll see. I mean, if it might be pushed right after the game day, if that's what I have to do. But we'll see. And if you don't know what the game day is, you guys, that's a big event. It's a mystery make along that I do Super Bowl Sunday. So Super Bowl Sunday, every hour on the hour, we give out a load of instructions, one for crochet, one for knitters. And for every hour, right up until game time, you are just making something. You have no idea what it is. And then it's a way for people to come together. And when, like, most of America is watching the Super Bowl, other people aren't, but you can still come together and still knit and crochet something. Like, you don't have to watch the Super Bowl to be part of the game day mystery make along. So that's on February 2nd this year. So yeah, so answer your question, will the sweater knit along or whatever be before or after the game day? I don't know. Like, it's so impromptu that I don't even know. Right now, it was just brought up. Like, do you want to do this? Yeah, that's a cool idea. Let's see if everybody else would. So that's where that is.
I was just gonna say, I really like this one too, and it's so different. I love that she's got 3 of these sweaters, and they're all so unique.
Oh yeah.
Look at that. That has such a great look.
The design team did such an awesome job with this whole project that they did of pulling together all of these yoke sweaters.
Yeah, that is really stunning. And we picked the same pillow, so clearly
that yellow.
Similar pot.
Love that yellow.
Yeah, there's just got a couple more. Look at that.
See, I love the sweaters. I told you I could totally swap out my picks with Christie's picks.
Yeah.
You know what else I really feel like? I feel like this is a difference between knitters and crocheters, because you'll notice, like, I don't think any of us picked a knit blanket. Like, did any of us pick a knit blanket? You have one? Because I mean, very seldom will somebody knit a blanket. Like, it's just I guess that to me, in my opinion, that's a lot of things that like crocheters would do.
Look at that.
It's so pretty. Do you know how much work that is?
Oh my gosh, I can only imagine. I am working on a knit project right now that I had hoped to put out the first week of February or January. Yeah, I'm now looking at the last week of January. So I cannot, and mine has no color work. So I can only imagine. That is stunning. That is really gorgeous.
Dude, I hear you. I was working on a knit project that I can't really talk about right now, but I mean, I spent 4 days knitting nonstop, which I think is why my shoulders and neck are so sore, because I was just like this, like nonstop. And but knitting just takes so much longer. But I love it. I love it so much. It just takes so much longer. Yeah. Dude, I'm loving this. I like her choices. I could have absolutely picked her choice. I could totally wear this. Mm-hmm. And that hat, I would so rock that hat. I would so rock that hat. Like, yeah, I've had my hair that short, and I would so rock that hat. I would wear that.
That is such a great sweater with like jeans, or you can dress it up, you can dress it down. Totally cool.
Yeah.
I love
One
it.
of my favorite things about working a lot with Yarn Inspirations now is they do have a lot more natural fibers for us to choose from. So like, when you steek, it's not really ideal to do it with acrylic because part of the whole reason you steek is that the natural fibers naturally grasp onto each other so it doesn't run a bunch of different things, right? It's not to say it's impossible. It can be done with acrylic, but preferably not.
Gotta
So
sew
being
that
able
line
to
real
work
well.
I know being able to work with the different fibers, whether it's wool or alpaca or whatever it may be, is really nice. A nice option here. So I think Christy Glass did a good job. I haven't met Christy Glass before. I would love to meet her though. Like she's friends with a lot of my same friends. I just feel like we would get along wonderfully.
I think so. I have been lucky enough to meet her. I think just once. Was it just once? Yeah, just once. Up in Chicago last year, and she's so high energy. She's exactly, like what you see on screen. She's so fun. She's just so fun.
That's awesome.
We ended up recording a video together way too late at night. Like after the event, it's like, we're gonna make this video all day. We're gonna make this video. We got in there, we were so exhausted. I don't even know if we made sense, but it was fun.
Okay, so let's look at Mikey's.
Yeah, for sure.
I think it's fascinating because you have Christy, who's primarily knitter, and then I'm both, and then you are both, but you do a lot of crochet, and then there's Mikey, who's primarily crochet, although he can knit. So let's take a look at his pieces.
Yeah, he's got some great ones too.
He does.
I love that pillow, the rainbow. I hadn't seen that one before.
That is super cute. Let's do a quick view on that one.
There are so many patterns on your inspirations. I feel like
my daughter would love that pillow. Okay. And the sun, dude. That's super really cute. That's really cute.
Great like shower gift, or even like you say, a teen. Super cute.
Very cool. I like that he picked a shawl. I love shawls. I love them so much, and I love like the daintier, prettier that's so pretty.
Well, I find what's interesting, I was sharing this one on my Facebook the other day. Look how big it is. It looks, in the first picture, it looks like it would be very dainty, but it's actually made with Pat Payton's Lincoln Fog, which is, it's not a heavy yarn, but it's not a thin yarn.
It's not a thin yarn. You're right.
I want to say it's a worsted.
Oh my gosh.
It might even be a bulky. So yeah.
Interesting.
It looks so delicate and light in the first picture.
It does.
It looks, it's a big warm shawl. So I think you could take any of like the Red Heart, it's a wrap. Any of those would be gorgeous with this pattern.
Yeah. I wonder how hard it would be. I haven't looked at this pattern. I wonder how hard it would be to just extend out to keep doing repeats.
Right.
To me, I don't know offhand, but it just looks like it's like a little repeat, the numbers are probably not too difficult once you get to the repeat sections.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
That's one of those patterns that's going to change so much depending on which yarn you use. But that's the fun of it, right?
Right. Absolutely. All right. So I'm going to scroll. So more blankets, which I think is fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah. And he picked a gingham one too. So sort of that same, farmhouse type feel thing happening right now. That one's really cute.
That's really adorable.
Cute. And it's a little different too, the way the striping's done. That's neat.
Right. I like the colors in this one. Sherbet. I love sherbet. I actually have a cowl I called the sherbet cowl. Like it just reminded me of sherbet. Which when I was younger I called sherbet because I was like, it's called sherbet. I'm like, nope, it's sherbet.
The tote bag I named the sherbet, sherbet striped tote. I had to look it up. I was like, is it sherbet or I didn't know. Sherbet, and yeah, it's a whole thing online. People are like, I'm gonna say it this way. I was like, oh, okay.
I was dating a guy once and we went to like 31 Flavors or whatever that place is called. And I was like, I want sherbet. And he was like cracking up. And I'm like, what's so funny? And he's like, you called it sherbet. And I was like, this is our last date, Like, back it up, buddy.
And the yarn for this one's on sale too.
Oh, there you go. That's perfect.
That right before we left.
I know. Okay, so speaking of shawls, this is a wrap, but still big, cozy, comfy.
Yeah.
Evermore. Oh, I love Evermore. Evermore is like a thicker version of Unforgettable.
Yeah. I
don't think it gets enough love.
Unforgettable. Oh my God.
Yeah, I do too. I mean, I seriously, I have it right here, like, and right here, and right here.
Back there. Little
I was just working on some projects, so I was like, just leave it. I'll just leave it right here as I'm working on it. So that's really pretty. I like that.
I like that one a lot.
All right, what else do they have?
And I like that he has a couple of bags on there too. I think people are just continuing to go more and more green, and that's always, you can make your own grocery bags.
That's one thing that I noticed a lot with Selena Baca lately. If you don't follow her, Selena Baca Crochet, she's fantastic, but she's doing a lot of bags lately, and I find it, she's getting a lot of people who are coming to her for that very reason, going green, using the bags. And I'm going to be honest, the older I get, so before I just didn't worry about it. I was like, oh, give me the plastic bag to put my vegetables in. And I'm just going to all the plastic and all the vegetables in the plastic and then bringing home the plastic. And it was probably like 3 years ago. I was putting away groceries and I'm just looking at all this plastic and I'm like, this is such a waste. Like, this is such a waste. And then it grew even further where we buy like individual servings of tea, and they come in these plastic containers, which are great to store your crochet hooks, by the way, if y'all ever curious about that. But at some point you have too many, and I'm like, I'm just throwing these away and this is so wasteful. So like, it's something, I don't know if it's because I'm getting older and I'm just more conscientious of, this is just me and all of this plastic. Imagine. And then there's just how many people here in Indiana, and then multiply that by the country, multiply that by the world. And I'm like, man, this is truly an issue. Like, I don't know. It's just one of those things.
Yeah, I try really hard to reuse all the plastic bags, all the plastic grocery sacks we bring in.
Yeah.
Excuse me. I actually have a garbage can. My kitchen garbage can is one that is made specifically. It uses those as the garbage bags. So rather than going out and buying garbage bags, then I will use those. And I always feel like, I hope none of the companies I work with ever think this is like trashy, but I will use them for like padding when I ship things. I'm like, why go out and buy packing peanuts and bubble wrap? We've already got this squishy plastic thing. So I will pack things. I've sent in designs surrounded by, grocery sacks. But I'm like, it's a great shipping material. It's lightweight. Just keep reusing them, the more you can use them.
Yep. We used ours just like you in a trash can in our bathrooms. And then we use it to pick up poop outside. Like it's the good pooper picker upper thingy. Anyways, there we go. There's a tangent for you, but this is a great bag. Lily Sugar and Cream bag. I mean, that's an awesome bag.
I love working with Lily Sugar and Cream too. It's always been one of my favorite yarns.
I haven't worked with their yarn in years. Like, I'm excited to do that because I would love that. And then I'm going to give you a story about this one. Okay. You guys ready? Sit back and grab your tea because it's story time. Okay. So quick view. So this is called Red Heart Revisiting Weekend in Stockholm Throw. The original Weekend in Stockholm Throw was done using Debbie Stoller's yarn. It was an all wool yarn by Debbie Stoller. Okay. So we're going way back here. You ready? So this is the start of my career. I'm probably like a year and a half, 2 years into it. I don't even remember at this point. And I'm sitting. So you guys see the picture, right? You see the picture. I'm going to do a stop share so you can just see me and Tamara. Okay. So here's the story. So I'm a couple years into my career and I get this phone call from Candy Jensen. And Candy says, hey, Marley, who, if you don't know Candy Jensen, you guys, she's amazing. She was the producer of the Knit and Crochet Now television show. She's a knitwear and crochet designer. She is amazing. Like, I love her so much. I've called her my fairy godmother of crochet and knitting. Okay. So she's just fantastic. So she calls me. So I'm already like about to pee my pants that I'm on the phone with Candy Jensen. And she's like, hey, Marley, I have a friend who's coming out with a new yarn line and she needs somebody to be like a project manager for her patterns. And I think you'd be really good at it. Can I give her your name? Sure. She doesn't tell me who it is. She's like, okay, cool. So I'm like, all right. So I'm waiting for this phone call and I get this phone call and this woman answers and says, hi, my name is Debbie Stoller. And I went, excuse me? She's like, this is Debbie Stoller. Now, mind you, at the time I'm teaching at Knit Knack in Old Town, Arvada, and I'm teaching beginner knitting classes. And my beginner knitting class used the Debbie Stoller Stitch and Bitch book so I've been teaching from this lady's book for 2 years. And now I'm on the phone with her. And she says, so Candy gave me your name. She said that you are really good at doing all this and the other. And I was like, absolutely, sign me up. I had never done anything like this in my life, but you know what? I could do it. Let's do this. She told me that she had 3 new yarn lines coming out with Red Heart, and that she was unaware that she had to do like X number of patterns, but she didn't have the time to do them. So she was working with another designer, but she needed a project manager, so to speak. So that's what I jumped in as. So here I am. I start working directly with Red Heart, going back and forth of what yarn I need. I'm working with the other designer who's amazing. She's designing all the pieces, and Debbie's designing some pieces. And essentially I'm taking the designs, I'm getting the patterns written, and then I'm getting them made, and I'm sending them into Red Heart so they can get this all done, right? So this particular design was one of the last ones, and it was designed by Debbie. And she just took a long time deciding on what color scheme she wanted, what motif she wanted, and it came in. We had 3 days until the photo shoot, okay? She sends it to us. I look at one of my best contractors, Jenny Castaneda. I said, are you ready for this? And she goes, yes. And I said, okay. Gave her the yarn. She had it done in 2 days. Her hands were like cramped up.
Oh.
We sent it in and they filmed it. It was like one of their most popular patterns, right? So then when I start working for Red Heart, you know, I'm bringing back the story of how I started working with Debbie and this, that, and the other. And I mentioned this blanket, and they were talking about how well it did for them. They're like, we should remake that. So we go to remake it. I call up Jenny. Hey, Jenny. She's like, are you kidding me? I said, but you have more than 3 days. So Jenny made this blanket too out of the Red Heart Super Saver. She actually took that picture of the blanket. I have the blanket in the garage. I was able to keep this one, but that's the story behind the Weekend in Stockholm throw. It originally was a Debbie Stoller yarn. It is a Debbie Stoller design. It was a Debbie Stoller yarn remade with Red Heart Super Saver, and I was project manager for both of them. So that was really cool.
That's amazing. That's so
right.
Cool. Yeah.
This is the information you get here on the YouTube channel. So yeah, that was like literally one of the start of my career things was Candy Jensen saying, hey, I think you could do this. And I said, I think I could too. Never done it before in my life, but I did it.
That explains why you are so good at, because I know how you work and I've seen it, and I know you're a project manager essentially. It's all clicking. It's all making sense.
And you know, the tighter the deadline, the more efficient I am. If you give me a long deadline, I'm gonna miss it. I'm gonna miss it. I'm gonna miss it bad. And I mean, I don't know. And it's not because of lack of trying. There's something going on up here, whatever. But yeah, that's the story behind that blanket. So I thought it was really cool that it showed up in this roundup thing, because I'm like, look, it's still popular, and it just brings back so many memories. You know, it's just amazing of like long 24-hour periods of crocheting with Jenny, because we're both working on things like nonstop. Like it was insane. But we did it. It was all done.
That's phenomenal.
Right? So cool. Yeah. So there you go.
That explains the very, very long title of that pattern.
Right. Yes, exactly. So let's take a look at some of the chat questions, because we looked at all the patterns. I feel like we did a good job there. Don't you think?
I think so.
All right, cool.
If you are not crocheting for other people, you're jumping ahead to gifts. Red Heart tote bag coming up for Valentine's Day, right there on Mikey's list.
Oh yeah. Okay. Should I do another share screen and show that? All right.
Yeah, it's up to you.
Let me go over there.
Go follow the links.
Yeah, follow the links. Okay, so this one, this Red Heart tote bag. That's cute. That would be cute for somebody, even like if you didn't, instead of being one of those parents that has to make the box on the desk, you could totally make this and have them, you know, this is my box, and they could reuse it.
Right. My daughter would have taken it. My son's not so much. But their boxes don't even have hearts on them. We just wrap things in foil and write a name and send it in. I would decorate them. I remember making those boxes in elementary school. I loved it. I decorated them. I had all kinds of little cutout things on mine. I always wanted to use puffy paints. My parents wouldn't buy me puffy paints, but I wanted it. You know, I love making that creative box, but yeah.
Oh my gosh. True story. Like, I think it was 2nd grade or something like that at my kid's school. I don't even remember I think it was Caden. And I went to class, and it was like one of those pre-made boxes that came with the Valentine. So I was like, oh yeah, cool. Okay, this is great. Time efficient. Put it on the desk. The kid next to him, and I kid you not, I cannot make this up. He had a version of the Titanic. Like it was like a model Titanic, but it was for his Valentine's. It was like pristine, right? And his mom's like, he made it all by himself. I was like, you know what I said. So I was like,
yeah.
no, So then of course the mom was like, cause she knows me. She's like, well, aren't you creative? Oh, that's a lovely box. And I was like, you know what, lady, let me tell you what my name is, whatever. No. Yeah. So I never decorated boxes.
It's amazing how when you have to be creative for a living, sometimes in real life, you're like, no, I'm just going to give them this box.
Yeah. That's what it was.
My
And
creativity for work.
yep. Caden was perfectly happy with that box. It was like Transformer or something, he was like happy. I was like, I don't need the Titanic.
I mean, what do you do with that afterwards?
I don't know. I was like, spoiler alert, kid, it sank. Like, whatever, Yeah. Anyways. Okay. So the chat room, they're going to be like, wow, this is a side of Marley we've never seen. And I'm going to take a drink of this is my second nitro cold brew today. It's one of those mornings, ladies and gentlemen.
I love that. Do you get the nitro cold brew with a Cascadia foam?
I get it with the sweet cream.
Oh, I like the one with the Cascadia foam myself.
Yeah, I get the sweet cream. It's good stuff.
Yeah.
All right, looking at the chat. I haven't looked at the chat. I've been talking with you the whole time. People were talking about disposable bags.
Yep. I love somebody pointed out, and I've tried it. If you can crochet with the plastic bags too.
Oh yes,
all kinds of
with the plarn.
Online. Yeah, make the plarn, crochet with it. I made a really big. It came out way bigger back when I was first learning to crochet. Really, I made a really big, just a simple tote, 2 big squares left. Did a little chain so I had handles in it. That thing was so awesome when my kids were going to swim lessons, because that plastic, it just dries out. It's going to be big and holy. It's not going to make a real solid fabric unless you purposefully go for that. I don't recommend it. I recommend a bigger hook. But you know what I mean? It was just like light and airy, and the bag itself didn't get wet. It was so great for transporting wet things. And then of course there are people who make them as mats for the homeless, similar reasons. It doesn't absorb water. They stand up to the environment. You can hose them down if they get dirty.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can actually have some crochet fun with them too.
Yeah, I think I read somewhere online that there were some people making, taking the plarn to make mats for homeless people. Mm-hmm. I think I read that too, but yeah, that's a good choice also. People are saying that we're a hoot, so that's nice. We did scare them off.
We enjoy ourselves, so.
Yes. Yes. Oh, Rhonda Madsen is here. She says, oh, Knit Knack. I taught Rhonda how to knit at Knit Knack.
Oh, that's awesome.
I loved it. Knit Knack for me, it was my local yarn store, and it was like a savior. I've said this before online, but it was like a savior for a stay-at-home mom who needed an outlet and just to be my own person again. Like I found it there. Because I mean, this might be shocking, but I'm an extrovert. And so I know, hold yourself. Whoa. So it's like earth shaking. So being at home all day with my kids was, I love my kids, love them to death, but it was very hard for me emotionally, psychologically, all those things. So when I found Knit Knack and was allowed to start teaching there and having that connection with adults and this just interaction with people, and
yeah.
I don't want to say it saved me like I was like suicidal or something. That's not it. But it was just like, oh, there I am. Yeah. Like that's who I am. Like this person over here that's like really sad and just down in the dumps all the time. I was like, that's not me. What is going on? And I didn't understand at the time. So Knit Knack was a huge, huge lifesaver for me. Awesome. Again, not that my life was in danger, but you get what I'm trying to say.
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
Mental health. It's so important. And I've talked about, that's what crochet itself was for me. I love staying home with my kids and being a stay-at-home mom, but sometimes you need that little you moment, that time for you, whatever form that takes, whether that's sitting by yourself without the kids or going to see adults without the kids, you need that time. And
absolutely. It's important. The whole take care of me, the me time, kind of leading back into like, make it for me. It's like, all right, so you've done all this stuff for other people. What are you gonna do for yourself lately? What little thing could you do? I mean, it could be as simple as a coaster for your coffee cup, but just something where it's like, oh, that is for me. Like this hat, it was for me because I made this for me because I saw all these kind of like, oh yeah, I want something with that, and I did a video. It's like, honestly, the video I did for this, I was designing while I was filming. I didn't know what I was going to make yet. I knew I wanted this stitch pattern. I was like, all right, let's just try it. So as I was doing it, I was like, I'll pick this color. And then boom, there you have it. Like, I love it. So then I'm like, I got to make a hat. I love it. It's fantastic. It's good stuff. All right. People are saying you need to be filled with your inner being. Absolutely. I agree. What else do we have here? Carla says that she totally understands just having a stressful day, but she gets excited to go knit with her group of friends at a house for an hour. Sometimes that's all it takes, just that little bit of time. Some people, it's just sitting in a tub for like a little bit of time. Although I don't even get quiet time when I'm in the tub, because it's like, Mom, what are you doing, Mom? And then because my boys are older, they don't walk in on me, but they'll send a Laura in on me. Go check on Mom. Go make sure. I'm like, dude, I am naked.
Are they worried you're going to drown? How big is this tub?
I don't know. The tub is too small for me to drown. We are not in a big jacuzzi. I don't get it. What do you need that's so important that the minute my butt hits the water, that it's like, oh, I need it now, Mom? Dude, I don't know. Can you tell? That was my last night. That was me last night trying to just have some relaxation time. And I mean, Laura literally pulled up a stool and sat by the tub to talk to me. And I was like, is this really the best time? Like, she goes, well, you're not doing anything else. Oh my gosh.
Fair enough.
She has my undivided attention, you know?
Yeah. I can see that.
I'm guessing you don't have this issue.
Not as much, no. I don't, I was about to say I don't bathe, but that's not true. I shower. I'm a shower person. I'm not a tub person. I do have a hot tub, which we love. My husband and I both have, like, I have bad knees. He has a bad back. We love our hot tub. Right now it's a little chilly to use it, unfortunately. But yeah, the kids, you know, if it's during the day and the kids are up there stopping by.
Always. I don't know. Anyways, totally tangent. I'm sorry. Tangents all day today. So do you see any questions that maybe I'm missing?
Oh gosh.
Oh, Aida, she's not here because she had to run, but she had to go to chemo. Aida, you're still on my prayer list, my friend. I hope everything's going all right with that. Yolanda says hello from California. She loves the live chats.
Yay.
I love that. And Heather Tuttle, she says 3-hour throw, question mark. And I love that you gauge that by the television shows.
Right. Oh, I went back when I realized, I was like, wait a minute, I've like finished over half of it. I should have been timing this. I was like, okay, how long is the special I just finished? I just finished a comedy special. And it was like, I want to say it was like just over an hour. And I knew it was over halfway through the blanket. So I was like, okay, I'll keep track now. So
yeah.
It can be done in under 3 hours, but I wasn't tracking it super well before. So under 3 hours. Yeah.
That's awesome. Do you know that that's why I stopped watching TV when I was crocheting and knitting? Because it became very clear how long I was working on something, because I could see how long the TV show was. And I would get really upset. I was like, this is just taking too long. So then I went to audiobooks, because you really don't really know the passing, you know, it's just kind of going along. But that's why I stopped watching TV as I was doing knitting and crocheting.
Interesting.
True story. Things you find out.
Yeah. I've been listening to more podcasts lately too. Not like anything crochet or knit related. It just completely like true crime type podcast. So yeah, I hear you. Just, you know, that little bit, because I used to be a huge reader, and I think that's the one thing I'm sad about. I used to love reading, and I don't get just much time to read anymore because my hands are busy. If I could crochet and read at the same time, I would totally do that. So I love that you listen to audiobooks. And
I love them. Like, they're like I love them so much. And I love my friend Lindsay, you know, Lindsay from Erin Lane Bags. Like, she and I love the same type of books. So we're constantly texting back and forth. What are you reading? Oh, I just read this. And then like, she'll be reading a book that I've read, like that I had recommended, you know, and she's like, oh my God, this just happened. This just texted me. And she's like, why aren't you awake? You know, like, why aren't you up? I've got to talk about this now. That happens more often than you would think. But I love that. I love being able to connect back and forth. And I mean, we're not reading anything like, we're reading romance and sci-fi and all things like that, because we really just want an escape. I don't want to read horror. I don't want to read true crime. I don't want to read anything like that. I want a sexy man and a sexy female, or not even a sexy female. That's even better when she gets the sexy man. I mean, I love that. And then the fantasy, like, vampires, witches, Valkyrie, all, I mean, yeah, that's cool. Let me just escape from this world. So yeah, it's just fun. And then one of my favorite authors is having a book release event with one of my other favorite authors, and it's in Lexington, Kentucky, which is halfway for both Lindsay and myself. And I'm like,
oh my gosh,
I'm gonna get tickets. We're gonna go. So I'm very, very excited. I get to go be a fangirl, and so that'll be fun. But yeah, audiobooks. Do you not listen to audiobooks at all?
I used to. It's funny. My very first job out of college, I was, I'm going to age myself here. I was driving around selling yellow page space to small businesses.
Wow.
Yeah. So that was a very weird job that doesn't exist anymore, I don't think. Especially since we had to literally cut and paste the ads together. And I don't mean like, cut and paste like Control C, Control V. No, like taking paper and making the advertisements with like glue sticks.
Wow.
But anyway, when I was doing that, that was a lot of time on the road. And I did do a lot of audiobooks during that time. But back then you had to get them still on tape. So I think I finally sold those off in a garage sale a few years ago. And all the cassette tapes of audiobooks, like romance books, all kinds of stuff like that. Yeah. I don't listen to them as much though, because it's weird. I think for me, different people process information differently. And if I read it, I retain it a lot better. So a long plot, if I've only heard it, by the time I get to the end, I'm like, wait, who was that guy and why did they get here?
Oh.
It's just, for me, that's why I'm always like, if we have a meeting or something, I'm always like, I need the notes.
Yeah.
I need to I need to take notes. I need to write things down and see them visually.
Yeah.
Like,
I get so lost in the story. Like, I love it so very much. All right. So I guess Martin says, hard for me to listen to audiobooks. The narrators have to be real good in order for me to get into it. Agree. A narrator can ruin an audiobook for me. But if it's a book I really want to read, then I'll go get the book and I'll actually read it. Because there's a couple that are like that. But then I have a couple of narrators that I love. So I started following them on Facebook because I'm like, what are you reading? It's like, maybe it's something I'd like. And that's new. I've never done that before. I've never really done a lot of, that's my outside of yarn world. That's what I do. I love it. I don't know. But anyways, so speaking of the make it for you sort of stuff, what is something on your list that you want to make for you?
Oh gosh. I'm planning a new sweater this spring that I'm really excited to make. And of course, if I make a sweater, I try and make it for me. I try and make it in my size. Somebody has to model it, right? It turns out I made this one time. I accidentally made the size smaller. I wrote out all the instructions, and we always say, go in and highlight or circle the numbers for your size. Yeah, I didn't take my own advice. I made the one size too small.
Nice.
So then my daughter got to model that one. So yeah, I'm really excited about a sweater. I'm kind of still pondering exactly what it's going to look like, but yeah, I think I've been really trying to get into garments for the past few years and make things that I do want to wear. So I've got one. I'm sort of still in the imagining stages, but I'm excited about it. What about you?
A sweater. So I want to make myself a sweater, which is a huge time commitment because I'm, a lot bigger than you. So it's so much, fabric and stuff. And I've always kind of make the joke, like when I used to go to Knit Knack and work on a sweater, I'd be working on the back and people are like, oh, are you making a blanket? I'm like, no, it's the back of my sweater. Thanks. Because it looks like a baby blanket. That's what it looks like. And I get it, but that's essentially what it is. It's 2 baby blankets plus sleeves, which, they're like blankets themselves by the time you put those together. So it takes a lot of time to do that. I want to make myself a sweater. More than anything, I think for me, instead of having it like me time or make it for me, it is okay. Instead of make it for me, it is going to be more me time. I want to make more time for myself. And so for me, that's getting a massage. Like I'm always super tense and tight and just always, and I'm always pushing off the whole idea of getting a massage because I'm like, that's just more time I don't have. And I realized that it's actually more detrimental for me if I don't, because then I get even more tight and I just can't do the things I need to do. So I feel like for me, it's not so much what do I want to make for myself. I do want to make more time for myself. Cause I mean, you work a lot too. And it's actually a really hard thing to do, is to make time for myself. So
I have a gift card sitting here that I've had for 2 years for Massage Envy. I still haven't used because I haven't had time.
I just went this morning. I
I
just
need
went this morning and got literally just this side of my neck worked on, and I felt like a new woman. Because last night, okay, so I'm gonna turn, I couldn't raise my arm past that point, you know, because like you can bring your arm back here. And I just, because it was so tight, but now after this morning, I can get back there. So that was nice, but still, I mean, it's just, yeah, it's, I gotta have more time for me.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's the biggest ones for me, but I do want to make a sweater for myself.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, I like sweaters. The hard part there is I usually end up customizing everything because I like A-line, you know, so I always adjust that because I make a modified A-line. So I like it tighter up top, but I like A-line on the bottom because it just fits me better. And then I feel like I have to teach everybody how to do that too, because I'm like, everybody should be
Right.
able to do this. And then it just, you know, so one thing after another just makes it bigger, it's more involved than what it needs to be.
Right.
But
Exactly. I mean,
that's me.
I think that's like the up and down side to designing sweaters, like, you know, because the great thing about making a sweater yourself is that you can customize it, but you can't customize it for everybody. You know, you've got to
Right.
kind of make that standard shape. And then, you know, each person, the way they need it customized is going to be totally different. You know, I have nothing up top, so I don't need darts, but I've got hips and I might need that. You know what I mean? So it is, I think it is very difficult, like you say, to try and accommodate every different things are going to flatter different people. So not every pattern is going to work for everybody. But that customization thing is a great thing if you know how to do it, you know.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
trying to customize it for everyone
Right.
is kind of
I
impossible.
think the important thing there is that as knitters and crocheters venture into wanting to make more sweaters for themselves, it's important to make patterns the way they're written. Maybe make it for somebody else to start with, somebody smaller than you or whatever, and learn what you need to learn from it. And then the next time, make it for yourself with the adjustments, you know, learn how to make adjustments, you know, learn, you know, where are the easy places to make adjustments. Underneath the armhole, like those are easy places to make
Mhm.
adjustments. When you get above the armhole to all of this area, that's where things get tricky because there's a
Yeah.
lot of numbers going on up there, especially if you're doing fitted stuff where it's not
Mhm.
just rectangles or squares.
Mhm.
But there's a lot of adjustment things we can absolutely do.
Right. I mean, like one of my favorite tricks is if you want to put like a smaller waist in a sweater, just go down a hook size for a few rows when you get to the waist.
Yeah.
You know, you don't even have to change the pattern.
Mm-hmm.
Just, you
Yep.
know, make little changes like that.
Little things.
Little
Little
things.
things. I love it. I love chatting with you. Do you realize we've almost been on here an hour, if not an hour?
Ooh,
An
yeah,
hour. It's been an
probably.
hour.
Yeah.
It's
We could
easy to
probably talk
talk.
all day, but I'll get hungry.
I know. I'm hungry too. I'm hungry too. So we talked about the top 20. Let's kind of see how everything goes from here. I mean, I think there's such a variety of items in that list. So make sure you guys check out that list over at Yarn Inspirations. Let us know which ones you like. I mean, in the comments below, let us know what ones you think are going to be the top hits of the season. Or maybe you're like, you know what? This isn't on your list, but what about this one? This one is
Right.
really great. I mean, who knows? And then as the design team works throughout this year, they're going to come out with stuff and we're going to be like, oh yeah, that one, like that one's cool. So maybe we should do like a mid-year. We're going to revise our top 20 mid-year.
Right. Well, and you never know. Like I say, what's going to be the ponytail hat of 2020? Hard to say. Hard to
And
say.
I
It
wish I
might be those
knew.
twisty headbands.
Those twisty headbands, I didn't know they were going to be that big. Like I saw the first one, I was like, oh yeah, that's cool. And then they're everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's not, I mean, bluntly, it's not like nobody's ever made a twisted headband before. They've been out. It's just all of a sudden
Yeah.
everywhere.
Yeah. Who knows? I don't know. I have no clue.
Great.
All right, my friend. Well, let's say goodbye to everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. I feel like we should do our high five
I was going
thing.
to say high five. Which
High
way?
five. Yeah. Woo.
Whichever way it is.
I don't know. There you go. Yeah, yeah, yeah. They're going to be like, why are they like
Right.
voguing?
Wait.
All right.
Trends for 2020. Voguing. Yes. That's what
Yes, Vogue. Vogue is the new trend. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us for this little chat talking about the top 20 that the choices for patterns and stuff over at Yarn Inspirations. And we'll talk to you guys as soon as we get a chance to talk again. How about that?
Yeah. Sounds good.
Bye, y'all.
Bye. Have a great day, everybody.